Hey, fellow mamas. Welcome to the Military Mamas podcast.
We're your hosts, Allison and Tara.
We are both moms who celebrate and support women who balance the demands of military service with the joys and challenges of motherhood.
This is a space for military moms to connect, share tips and stories, and inspire each other. Now let's get started with today's episode.
Hey, so we were just talking about how hard it can be sometimes meeting friends in the military community, especially like as women who are at the same like levels in their life, you know? And so we just wanted to introduce you guys to a new friend that we've made. Her name is Liz, and she's just going to tell us about her experience being a military spouse and just everything that she's kind of went through in the process of that. Yeah.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Thanks for having me.
Do you feel super famous now? Like
So
solo podcast?
famous.
You're like, I'm on a podcast.
I'm a cool girl now.
Yeah.
No, like she said, it's really hard to find genuine friends, especially if they're really coming and going.
Yeah.
You know, you meet somebody really cool and they're like, I leave in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Literally me.
Oh,
Yeah.
a little suspicious there.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, or like a lot of age gaps, things like that. Or
Yeah.
some people, I'm not one of those people, but some people care about rank. I don't know if that
No.
really matters.
With or without kids, like that's
Yeah, with or without kids, that is
Yeah.
huge. I will say there's more people who have kids here that like, you know, it's a little bit easier to find like mom groups around here,
Yeah.
but still, you know, it all goes down to,
And personality.
yeah, I was
You
gonna
might
say it
miss
all
someone.
comes down to personality, but I met my husband 6 years ago. He joined the military, he joined the Marines 14 years ago. He moved away, he was here. His first duty station was North Carolina.
Oh.
He was in Bahrain, he was in Miami, he did, where else was he? Bahrain, Miami, MacDill. He was at Tampa, MacDill. Anyways, he moved away, I moved away, you know, we lived in the same town, didn't know each other. And then he moved back for recruiting duty, and I moved back at the same time, literally, and a month later we met, and we've just been like inseparable ever since then.
That's so cute.
It was cute, and it was nice because we met at the beginning of him getting there. So we had all 3 years. There was really like no pressure, which
Yeah.
I guess at the time I didn't understand, like you know, you just don't think like, oh, you're moving, you know.
Right, right.
Well, it's
So-
like PCS comes up and it's either like, okay, we're gonna break up or we're gonna get married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no pressure of that, which was
That's
good
really
for
good.
me because
Yeah.
I honestly really didn't think about it. But we were together for probably about a year and a half, and then he proposed. We got married in our little hometown.
That's awesome.
That's so cute.
It was really nice. It was nice to have our friends and family not have to worry about like, where are we gonna go? What are we gonna do? And,
Right, yeah.
and then we got married, and then it was time for us to start, you know, packing and considering, like, he asked me, where do you want to move? Here are some options. And I'm like, I'm going to stay in this.
Yeah.
You know? Okay.
Yeah.
And then his monitor called and asked if he'd do another 2-year contract in the same area. So,
You're so lucky
That's-
for that.
yeah.
very lucky, very, very lucky. So we obviously accepted that. Our family was really thrilled.
Yeah.
We did that. And then 1 year after that, which in the process of all this, he owned a home and I owned a home. I sold my home, moved in with him. We got married and we decided to buy another home, keeping that home. And then when he got the 2-year contract at MacDill, we said, okay, let's move up to Tampa so we're closer. Because there's a lot of traffic up there. And from where we're at to there was like an hour, 20 minutes with traffic for him. So we're like,
Lord.
so we did 1 year in our hometown where I could drive to work close, and 1 year in Tampa where we just rented a house, but we kept the 2 that we owned,
Yeah.
and where he was
Yeah, that's
close.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. And then that last year, we got an offer for our son, who is adopted. Somebody in my family had gotten pregnant and decided that was something that she did not want. She has a lot of love. She's a good person.
Yeah.
She's young. She just wasn't ready. she's still not ready. She still says it was the best decision for her.
Oh, good.
And she knew that we wanted children.
Yeah.
So we had been trying, but also living life, traveling, doing all those fun things in between, you know,
Yeah.
worrying about our move and this, that, and the other. But we accepted. And so we went through that process the last year that we were there. And literally, he was born a month early.
Oh,
And and 2 weeks later, we moved here.
Oh, my gosh. I think I'm getting stressed.
wild. Yeah, that stresses me out.
Yeah.
Thinking about
Which
that.
was crazy because we had it all planned out where they were going to come and
Yeah.
pack our stuff and move us.
Right.
Right? You know, they come in, they do the whole,
Yeah.
and we had to cancel everything. We were just like, we'll just do
Oh
it
my
ourselves because
gosh.
we just need to figure this out.
Yeah.
So literally, we get home from the hospital. We were home like 5 days. And my friend called me and she was like, hey, we're going to come over. I was like, what do you mean? She said, unlock your door. I unlocked my door and literally 20 people came in. And they just helped us. Yeah, they just helped all of our friends and family. It was like 8 in the morning. They just started helping us pack and loading everything up.
That is so sweet.
We got a pod delivered and they just packed it up and
Nice.
we kept what we needed for him for that extra week.
Yeah.
And then we drove up here. We stopped halfway, stayed the night in Savannah because with a newborn you have to stop. You have to stop every 2 hours. I was like, oh, I can't do
If
this.
you're lucky, every 2 hours.
Yeah.
He hates going like 20 minutes. I'm
Yes.
Like, I'm about to just be illegal right now. Or get in the back, put my boob in your mouth. Like, it is what it is.
Yes, it was. And then we also had 4 animals. So it's like
Oh my
us,
God,
a
you said that
newborn, 4
earlier.
animals. We're just trying to find somewhere to
Yeah.
stay for a night, you know?
Yeah.
People are like, no, this is too much. Go to the
Yeah.
next place.
Oh my
Little
God.
man's like, what did I just get brought into? Like, these people
He's
are
like,
crazy.
okay. So yeah, then we made it up here and we had bought this house, but we had it built.
Oh, cool.
So it wasn't finished.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my God.
And they said it was going to be finished, of course. You know how that
Yeah.
works. Contractors always push back.
Yeah.
It snowed that year, so they were like, well, there's we couldn't get the electrician out.
Right.
And I'm like, this is not my problem. Like,
Yeah.
you've got to do
Like,
something.
bro, I
I'm
have
like-
so many problems right now. Like,
Yeah.
your job cannot be also my
It
problem
was
right now.
insane. And yeah, then finally the house was ready. We got to move in and everything. And I thought, okay, this is where I can take a breath. You know, I can. And that was just. That was just the beginning, you guys. That was just the beginning. Yeah, I will be really honest. I don't know if it was the move here away from friends and family, which I've moved away from them before, but not. I don't know, it almost seemed kind of daunting in a way. Because,
Yeah.
you're not going to be back for like a while.
Right.
I don't know if it was a move here. I don't know if it was because I was a new time mom. I had a lot of different emotions with that, obviously, just
Right.
simply because he is adopted. And, I was always worried about what are people going to say? Or like,
Yeah.
what's he going to think? And all these different emotions. And I don't know if it was the combo of the two,
Probably. That's a
but
lot.
I lost a lot of myself probably the first 6 months. I like really, really struggled.
Yeah.
It was hard. And then
Like
like,
you're by yourself. Like you're literally by yourself.
Right.
You don't have that safety net anymore. You don't have any of that. And like you said, you moved away before, but it was just you.
yes. And then
Only for you. Like you were just
Yeah.
providing for yourself. Now you have something so precious and totally different that 1,000%
Yeah.
relies on you for everything.
And he wasn't even that old, you're still figuring out, okay, how do
Yeah.
we do life with a newborn?
exactly. And also like to add to that, nobody else in our family or friends like is military. So like I felt like nobody quite understood that aspect either.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that was tricky.
Yeah. Having no support system around too, and they also, like you said, if you're not in it, you don't really grasp it. Like you really don't know what it's like. And imagine your husband has to go TAD somewhere or he's doing this. So then it's just like, okay, new culture shock, new baby, new area, no friends I can talk to about it. Like other wives are kind of
Yeah.
crazy sometimes. So you're like, you really do feel isolated. And then I think when you're already in a low spot, it's so much easier to go lower with all the other things life throw at you. So I honestly feel like that's like a really normal approach, you know?
Yeah. And then
Yes.
I also worked full time as a nurse, and then I always did bartending on the side. I was like a very busy girl. I loved to hustle. I grew up poor. I always liked having extra money, this, that, and the other. My husband and I have always had like major goals, and we love to travel, so we've always had that. So then to add, now I'm staying at home, and you guys, I stayed at home for 3 months with my husband. Alone for 3 months.
Oh yeah, because you get parental leave.
He
for
got
that.
baby leave, and it was the same time that we moved. So
That's
he
really
used
nice.
it to help us like move in, which again, very lucky, very privileged. I know that's not the case. I know
Yeah.
plenty of girls who had to move on their own and do everything, you know, like I understand that was a big privilege moment, but
Yeah.
we
No, talk
almost
about
killed
it.
each other. We almost killed each other. We literally almost killed each other.
Well,
3
especially when
months.
you're going
You
from-
gotta go to work.
Yeah.
I gotta go to work.
Yeah.
Somebody's gotta go to work.
Yeah.
But we can't both be here.
Right.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah, we're 1 month in, and I'm kind of like, do you wanna like maybe just go find
Anywhere.
something to do?
You're gonna get a hobby. Like, I'd love for you to
You're
get a hobby.
breathing really loud
Oh
in my
gosh.
space.
Yeah.
And I actually hear you breathing and chewing, so you're gonna have to go upstairs.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like right now.
Right. So now it's like I have no friends. I'm not working. I have a newborn baby. And my husband, who I do love dearly,
Right.
is breathing heavy on me. Like, I'm losing my mind, you guys.
Yeah.
You know, so the only thing I can say is that I do feel like this town, because it is a big military town, that a lot of people do understand, which sometimes is a plus
good.
and sometimes is a minus.
Yeah.
Because they see my husband's been in for a long time, so they just assume that like I already know, I've been there,
Yeah.
I've done that, not realizing that we met later in his career, a little later in life, which I honestly think is the way to go.
Hell yeah,
Getting
you got
married
half
at-
the hard part.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of people around here now, which she used to talk about, like people get married, divorced, and married in the same day, and I used to be
Yeah.
like, what? Because in our town, you don't, like, nobody's getting married, like, you wait,
Yeah.
like, it's just not, you know, everybody's, like, young.
Well, there's
burning.
some other factors in that
Oh,
decision-making
right.
process of like,
right.
they're young, they're living in a barracks with other people, so
Right.
moving in with their girlfriend doesn't sound that bad, and then it's
Right.
like, oh, but you can't be my girlfriend because the Marine Corps only sees like,
Yeah.
I'm single or I'm married, so let's just get married and we'll just get divorced if it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And it's
I don't know
like,
your whole
Yeah.
name, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh my God.
And that's
Yeah.
another thing, too, like, I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't get down with that.
No,
Yeah.
me neither.
Like, I really genuinely love my husband, you know,
Right.
but I also am new to this whole thing as well, so I feel like,
Some people do it and it works out perfectly for them.
Yeah.
But that's
Like
a
it's
very-
rare.
Yeah, that's a unique,
Yeah.
you know, that's a unique thing
Yeah.
for that to happen, so.
but then, like, the people who have been in as long as my husband, their wives, a lot of them have been there the whole time, so they
They're
have a lot
seasoned.
more experience, and
Yeah.
sometimes because of that, they're a little bit more reserved. They don't want to be as friendly. They're so used to the coming and going,
Yeah.
you know, like we talked about. So it makes them, Alexa, stop,
Let me take that out.
if you don't mind. We're making bread. We're making sourdough. We're trying.
This is turning into a cooking episode, actually.
Yeah, these gloves are awesome, by the way.
You look like a linebacker or something. With a thing, so I don't know.
Does it look good?
Here, I'll show it to you.
I mean, it's okay. It'll work. I don't think it's good
Want me to
anyways.
Put the lid on it, leave the lid off of it.
You can leave the lid off and turn the stove off if you don't mind. That is so funny. Another dense bread.
Yeah. I'll be hitting you up when I start that.
Well,
I've been waiting till we move.
don't hit me up. I'm not the expert. She's my doe's name is Jane Doe because I don't know that bit. And she does not work for me. Okay, I do not know her.
That's funny.
And she doesn't clearly because do you see that bread?
You might
Dense.
be able to like open it up. It might be good on
We're
the
gonna make
inside.
croutons out of that.
Yeah. That's funny.
You gotta let it cool first. They say
Yeah.
letting it cool helps. I don't understand that.
I don't know.
but that's what they say.
Yeah, they do the same thing with me. Like my husband, I'm like, I'm starving. He's like, you gotta let it sit for 10 minutes off the grill. I'm like, dude, like I'm
I mean,
starving.
That's when the juice is finished. I don't give a fuck.
It's the
Bro,
same in
like-
10 minutes.
Yeah. Give it to me right now.
Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Like, is it gonna help my bread rise more? Probably not. So let's cut it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But anyway, you were just saying how like
Yeah.
meeting other people and they're kind of like more experienced with that and
And I think that is another reason why I was like pretty reserved the first couple of months that I was here.
yeah.
Was the people that I would meet would not, they'd be like, you know, like,
Yeah.
who are you? And then the other people that I would think are friendly would just, the personalities would not align.
Little
Or,
cuckoo.
yeah, or they're just like comfortable with like, my husband and I have big goals. We see a big picture in life.
Yeah.
And we just want like-minded people
Yeah.
in our circle.
Iron sharpens iron for sure.
Yeah, and it's just sometimes that's the hardest part. And maybe it's hard anywhere. Like maybe it's hard even if he wasn't in the military.
I think so.
But I think it just adds an extra element of difficulty, you know?
Yeah. I think it's
another
good.
layer, I guess you could say, another layer.
Yeah, but I think it's good to get
Yeah.
picky with your friends, especially because when you have kids, it's like, okay, well, who's going to be around our kids? And then eventually our kids are going to be learnings from our village, so it's like you have to make sure. And I think it's also good too, like when you're friends with someone, you want to be able to lean on them sometimes, and you want them to lean on
Yes.
you, and like you want to go to them for advice or just like comfort.
It's like a bucket.
yeah,
You
yeah.
need your bucket filled too.
Right, right.
You know,
And if it's
not just
like-
emptied.
If it's so drastic, you know, yeah, like there's a girl that, you know, and she's like so nice to me. She's so nice. And technically we're close in age. She's only 3 years like younger than me, something like that. But I just feel like I feel like I'm your mom. Like not
Oh,
because you're
yeah.
like immature necessarily. It's just like we are so different in life. And like you're saying, like I'm like,
And that's
I'm open.
draining.
yeah, it's really hard. And it's like you haven't done
That-
anything.
yeah.
But I need someone who's gonna motivate me and push me a little bit, you know, and I don't wanna go talk about the newest video game right now.
Like I don't want to be
Nothing.
exhausted. Like I
Yeah.
don't want to feel exhausted or feel like it's about to be exhausting to go eat
Yeah.
out or to go do something.
Definitely.
Or, you know,
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like it's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you have kids and you have like spouses are working or you got to go somewhere or
Yeah.
other family is depending on you. It's like I can't. Like
Yeah.
we gotta be at the same level. We got to
Right.
like you said,
Yes.
filling each other's buckets and being at that level because it's just
That's hard.
exhausting.
And then no one else talks about too, like you lose your friends too, like your home friends. Some of them you lose too because
for
Oh yeah.
and I
Well, you see who really mattered. Like you see the ones that were really there.
Right.
and you guys have talked about before, like when you go home,
It's
people
so
coming
good.
to you, which we again very lucky, very privileged,
Yeah.
but we go home and we're like, hey, we're gonna have a big party on this day. Whoever wants to come. If
Yeah.
you don't come, maybe we'll see, maybe we won't. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Right.
but there's 1,000 of you and one of us.
Yeah.
And usually a lot of
And
our
you've traveled already, like from wherever. If you're
Yeah.
outside of your hometown, you're traveling to get there. Like
yeah.
you don't want to be like, you need to come see us, and we're not going to come see you. But
Right.
at the same time, like you better be like in a nursing home to where you can't come see me or something. Like,
Yeah.
because like I'm coming down here. You
Right.
have a vehicle. You
Yeah.
have money for gas.
It's been
you have-
how long?
I'll pay for lunch or whatever. I'll come
Yeah.
meet you somewhere. But if you're not like putting in the effort, then it's cool. Like we'll catch up on Instagram, and you know.
Yeah.
People
I'll see this,
prioritize what
like-
they want.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
it's
also
also feel
it's also an immaturity thing. Like
yeah.
you know, that's it. Having the same people on that level. You know,
yeah.
so it's just.
But you feel that, and I feel like you naturally just kind of distance, and you're like, all right, you know, like I thought you might have been a little bit more like, hey, I'll come see you, or whatever. It's been like a year or 2 years or whatever. It's like, oh,
Oh, my dog pooped in the house. I can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like,
Wait,
bro,
what?
Like,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
put some clothes on, clean the shit. What are you doing? You're
Yeah.
just making it.
Oh, like you're in the hospital? Okay. I think, like, there's some circumstances I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, but no, I had the same thing. Like, and I'm, you know, 24. So, like, my peer group, they were still in college, still, like, you know, beer ponging every single day. I'm like, bro, it's like a school night. Like, I got class to go to, or, like, I got work to
And that's a
tomorrow.
mindset thing
Yeah.
too. Like either you grow out of it, some people don't. That's another thing. I see people still doing the same thing they were doing 10 years ago. I'm
Yeah. Aren't you bored, bro?
Yeah.
like, aren't you tired of that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think again, like we got here being a new mom, losing some friends, trying to make some friends.
Yeah.
I went from working full time to I'm a stay at home mom. I do work. I work like 1 or 2 days a week, but
Yeah.
not much, just enough for a little socialization, which I think helped
Yeah.
a lot on my mental.
Yeah.
And then I also I met some locals, and I've met, people through that, which I think helped a lot.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
that was a big positive.
Yeah.
But it's so funny because we're 1 year in, and I'm already like, all right, so should we pack?
Yeah.
Like, when do we leave? Are we leaving?
Yeah.
And then next year, so my husband, when he was stationed at MacDill, he traveled to the Middle East a lot. They would send him over there, but not for long. Like, he would go for a week, 2 weeks, 2 months, a month. And it was all kind of like spread out.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of got used to that, and that was not a big deal. But I've never gone through a deployment with him.
Mm-hmm.
So next year, I think he gets deployed. So that'll be interesting
Yeah.
because right when gets back is when we're supposed to move. It lines up that way. I know.
That's so freaking fun. I mean,
So
she
I'm
knows
like-
all about that.
So I'm like, okay, now which is crazy because why am I thinking about this now? I'm just try not to, but I'm like, do I go home
no, I think
for
it's good to
6
think about it.
months?
Yeah.
Do I stay here? Where's the best for me? Like, trying to come up with what type of village I need
Yeah.
in the worst time of my life.
Right.
Because I'm a husband girly. Like,
yeah, me too.
I'm a husband girly. Like,
Yeah.
you tell me not to tell anybody, I'm telling him.
Yeah, exactly. Me and my husband, right?
Tell me the
That's
tea, because
Yeah.
I'm telling him.
Yeah.
He's not gonna tell a soul, swear,
Yeah.
but I'm telling him.
Yeah.
So, like, for
That's
that,
hard, yeah.
I think is another thing that like weighs on you, and you constantly think about it. Why? I don't know. I'm like, this is in for so long. Like, just be
Yeah.
present. But I feel like it always feels like you never get to settle. You're always in sand with an
Yeah.
ocean that's constantly flowing through. Like.
Definitely on edge 24/7.
Yeah, and I'm like, I started gardening to get some peace with my life. I was like, we just gotta get the sun and
Yeah.
have some peace and not think about all this craziness. But that's
That's
another
good,
thing
yeah.
that like kind of like another layer that
Yeah.
adds to it and the
Right.
emotions behind it. And
Yeah.
I have lived it so much in my brain that I've already packed his bags. I'm like, you gotta go now.
Yeah.
You gotta go on deployment now because
Get
I'm
over
already
with.
there.
Yeah.
See you in 6 months. He's like, no.
Yeah.
I will say it's a little bit better with like video calls and being able to send
Yeah.
pictures and
Yeah.
stuff, like depending on where he would go. So
He's
that's
on view.
Oh,
That sucks. Well, you guys can email.
Thanks, guys. That's really helpful. Thank you
No,
so much. I'm so glad.
it'll still be like you'll still be able to
Sexy emails
have
for
it.
Mary. Sincerely.
Very
for my phone.
boy, Mr. Guys. So
No.
funny.
That is hard. It really is. Like, there's no way to sugarcoat that.
No.
You know?
Yeah. So
But that's where the village comes in and like where your head's at of like, oh, do I want to go back or do I want to stay here? Like all of that is good thinking ahead of time, like
Yeah.
to prepare for. So
Do you think you would marry a military guy? Like, if you knew, like, really, now that you're living it, you're seeing, like, okay, with PCS away from people, okay, this is what it's really about, and he's going to be deploying. Like, do you think you would have still married him?
I think it's really hard to say because I don't, to be quite honest, I don't think I could. My husband is the greatest thing that ever happened to me.
Aw.
So like he is the yin to my yang, truly.
Yeah.
So I feel like, would I do it for anybody? No. Would I do it for him? Yes.
That's really sweet. Yeah.
But I also like, too, I've always been the black sheep, a little wild card. Like,
Yeah.
I thought, oh, move away, no big deal. Oh, we could live in another country, no big deal.
Yeah.
It wasn't until, like, I think adding him that really you're like, oh, like, we have to think about, like, all of
Yeah. It's
And
a
all
family now.
Yeah, which I know he holds like a lot of that. I know that there are pressures that he doesn't always, he like keeps to himself. I know there's some guilt, especially when we first got here. I knew that he saw me struggle.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd be like, do you want me to like put you on a flight back? Like, do you want to go visit
Yeah.
home for a minute? And I'm like,
because
no.
he's already used to it
Yeah.
and previously.
And that was
like,
another, yeah. but I also think it gave him a lot of patience because it's not new to him too.
Yeah.
He's already done it, so it gave him the ability to be there fully for
Right.
me,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
was a nice space. I could kind of like lose it for a minute and come back, and he's like, "Okay,
That's good.
we're
Yeah.
good. You're good. Everything good."
Yeah.
So now I feel like I'm way more comfortable. I'm way more established, but I also feel that way as a mom. I feel way more
Yeah.
comfortable, established here, there, with him, with everything. So I think time really is a good friend of yours. Sometimes it seems like it's not, but I
Well, it
think
gives you wisdom and
yeah,
experience. Yeah.
over time, you get all those things. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something really silly though. So
Okay.
silly. I'm gonna tell you something real silly. My husband's a silly little guy. He doesn't really tell me. I mean, you gotta think we lived in our hometown for 5 years. I did not pay attention to a single thing.
Yeah.
He would tell me like all these things, and I'd be like, sure, sure. Also, still working my own career, like doing my own thing. I'm like, yeah, whatever, sure,
Yeah.
whatever you say. And he'd be like, no, this is. And I'm like, yeah,
He's
yeah,
trying to prep you.
yeah, and I'm
like
like
these little nuggets.
information, and then like some stuff I would ask, and he'd be like, it's not relevant. You don't need to know that. So I'd like stop asking. So I'm like, he's not even telling me.
Oh.
Like all these acronyms and all this stuff, and sometimes he would tell me like important stuff, and then the other stuff I think that was like really not important.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's important. He's like, it's really not important. It doesn't have anything to
There
do
would
with
be
me.
way too many questions that.
And now I
it's just
understand all
irrelevant,
that.
like-
But he would like tell me stuff and not tell me stuff. And then when we were at home, like in our hometown, everything was good. And we moved here, and I was like, oh, I see all the things he's telling me, or that I can remember, because I'm like.
Yeah.
I'm like stubborn, so I'm like, I'm not gonna go back and ask him. I'm just gonna figure it out as I go. But, which again, like I know some of this stuff I'm finding out from like other people. Like some stuff matters and some stuff doesn't. But like the
Yeah.
other day, one of the girls was telling me that she went golfing with her husband on the golf course on base, and that she got in trouble because of her athleisure. She had a tank top, like a.
Instead of
It
college.
was a little dress, and it was appropriate. I mean, it wasn't like she didn't, have anything, but it was like a little, I guess, a little tank top. And I was like, "What do you mean?" Now, and I'm also like, kind of like, I'd push back, so I'm like glad it happened to somebody else. I found out through the grapevine. I was like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah.
She was like, "There's like a dress code." I'm like, "On the golf course?" And she was like,
We clearly don't go to
she
the
was like,
exchange.
Yeah.
she was like, no. I never go. To be honest, I never go.
No,
on
I'm just
business
saying
cards.
some of the things that you see at the exchange, like I'm glad I know later.
Well, then she was like, no, on base, the dress code. I was like, no, I don't know. Please do humor me. Please do
Yeah.
share. I look like a lost puppy
Appropriate
sometimes.
civilian attire.
So she like tells me,
Yeah.
and her and her husband like go down, and I was like, what? So the other day, I bought something on Marketplace, and the girl was on base, and I went and picked it up, but I had to stop at the store, so I was like, oh, I'll just stop at the commissary,
Yeah.
pick up what I need, and go home.
Oh,
And girl, I was in leggings and a crop top and a hat because I was hair washing day. But nobody said anything to me. I didn't know.
Oh,
but
okay, I thought at first started
Yeah.
No.
who's your husband?
Yeah,
But
right.
I told my husband, I said, you got me out here looking like a damn fool. I don't know about these things, and I'm over here just running around in my little
Did anyone look
athleisure.
at you like judging you?
I feel like some people were looking at me, but I couldn't. I don't know. So I
Yeah.
just. So that's
Well,
another
it
thing.
depends on like what type of crop top. Are we talking like?
No, I mean I have a
Crop
short torso, so you can't see, and I don't
Yeah,
like
so-
my belly showing,
yeah,
so you
so-
couldn't see it. But
They were probably.
It definitely
looking at you 'cause
didn't-
you're hot.
it definitely-
That's probably what they were looking at you. So I wouldn't worry about that.
And
Yeah,
the
like-
hat thing I think is really big.
Oh yeah.
so the hat, and I honestly respect that, but I just didn't. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
live that. Like I'm still getting into living that
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
Again, yes, he's been in for a long time, but I have not.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I don't wear hats in a bank. I feel like that's a little sketchy.
Yeah, right.
So I'm like, if I just think about it like that, I'm like, okay, just don't wear your hat, okay?
Yeah.
But my hair, it's sketchy. Like, why are you wearing your hat? You brought me in the back? Like, why can't we see your face? Why can't the camera see your
You can't
face?
ID her eyes.
like sketchy.
Yeah.
I
You
think
know?
the Marine Corps is the only branch that has like a civilian attire rule, though. I think other branches are like, we would like you to be
Yeah.
professional at all times, but they don't have like actual rules.
Yeah.
Like we have actual
Right.
like policy saying like you will be in appropriate
Yeah.
civilian attire.
And you're
As
responsible for your
Marines,
spouse
but
too.
yeah, and you're responsible for your spouse. So I
Even
think
at the
Marine Corps-
gyms.
Which, when I came home and told my husband, I said, "You never told me about these rules." He was like, "I didn't think they like really applied to you. Nobody really says anything." I was like, "So you're gonna wait for your wife, who is also a little crazy,
Yeah.
for somebody to come up and say something to me, for that to be the time to step in and say something?
Yeah.
No."
Yeah.
I think
No.
I knew a guy
Silly
who's-
little guy.
I knew a guy who's a first sergeant now, and he made a correction, if I remember the story correctly, made a correction to a woman that was in the commissary because she had just looked as if she had just come from the gym and was grocery shopping. And I was like, so what did you say?
Yeah.
And he was like, well, I just let her know that, you know, she shouldn't be in there, like
Mm-hmm.
in her workout attire. And I was like, did she leave? And he was like, well, yeah. I was like, was she crying? Because
Yeah.
you don't know. Like,
Yeah.
what if they just PCS there? What if she didn't have a vehicle? What if she had to run to the common?
Or what if she's like me and doesn't know because her husband doesn't
Yeah.
tell her anything?
well, or that part. And,
You
then he
know?
was like, oh, well, now I feel bad. And I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you don't correct.
That's how I felt in Hawaii, where it's like it's beautiful and hot every day, and I'm like, oh, I have to go to the commissary. I'm like, well, let me change real quick and make sure I'm putting shorts on, and like, or like shorts that are like not super short, because like the Marine Corps would say they're shorter than like they actually are,
Yeah.
or like,
Like,
oh,
like the high school.
yeah,
Well, that's why I said, do they have to be 2 finger? Like,
Like-
what's the rule? 2 or 3 finger? I need to know.
Exactly,
You
yeah.
know? It's like, what?
yeah,
And I don't want
That's-
to roll my eyes because I know some people do need rules. Like there are
Yeah.
some
I
people who will
understand.
go like way this
Yes.
way. But if you're wearing leggings and like,
Yeah.
okay, you're in leggings. Like I don't.
yeah.
Also saying, like, I'm from Florida. Like, I'm so used to running around like a tank top and some shorts.
right,
Or like, I live in athleisure.
yeah,
You know? Like,
yeah,
so for me, I don't even think about it. I just jump in the car and I'm like, well, let's go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Pick
I don't
up what
ever
need to
really
pick
shop
up.
on base either. Sometimes I go to like Panda at the what you call it?
Oh,
The
yeah.
chow or chow.
The exchange, yeah.
Really.
I'm like, dang, that's a really nice shawl you got there.
Mistakes.
I've been out for a year and I haven't been to the chow in like 5 years.
Well, you just had a baby, so it's a baby.
Yeah, it's the baby's
It's a
fault.
baby.
But no, like I try to make sure I'm like in there, and like I don't want to do anything, especially because like people around here do kind of still remember my face, and like if they see me on social media, then like so and so should know better, and blah blah blah. But the one thing I think I do ignore is like I'll walk in there in Birks, like I don't care that my toes are out. I know I'm not supposed to. You're supposed to have like closed-toed shoes.
Seriously? See, I don't even know that.
I got in
What?
trouble. I got in trouble once in Hawaii for walking in the commissary with like flip flops. So I'm like,
Well, because they say they're shower shoes. Because you'd say you can't wear shower shoes, and they classify shower shoes as like the
like
thong
flip
flip
flops.
flops.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they're like any flip flop. Like you can have a heel, and it's like,
Yeah, they
oh,
told
so
me
these
no-
are shower. I'm shower shoes.
Yeah.
Like these are my shower shoes.
Yeah.
It's like,
I bet you'd like to see that.
Yeah. Good look at my toes.
Yeah,
Like,
because I'm running around vacuuming and showering in my stilettos. Thanks.
yeah, right.
Yeah, that stuff to me is wild.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot of challenges, like when you're in and getting settled and stuff. But I did mean to ask you, like, how is it going through the adoption phase and stuff? Because I've never known anyone who's done it. But you mentioned how you guys had parental leave, and I thought that was really cool that you guys got parental leave and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, so actually, I think it was last year or the year before, they recognized adoptions as treating it like your own. So he also got the leave, whereas before you wouldn't have gotten that, which is really nice.
Yeah.
So that is a perk. Also,
I'm pretty sure it's covered in the Marine Corps order, the policy for pregnancy and postpartum and all of that, and
Yeah.
the breastfeeding and everything. I think it's all covered in the same policy.
it
and so,
is. They also they helped pay for our lawyer for
Oh,
his
wow.
adoption. So like his
that's
adoption
amazing.
Yeah.
was pretty much covered. So I'm gonna be honest, because I know the birth mother. The birth mother is a relative of mine, so it puts me in a different category. Like when you want to
Oh.
adopt and you adopt somebody you don't know, first you have to see what state you're in because every state is different. In the state of Florida, you're legally not allowed to adopt until 48 hours after the baby is born.
Okay.
So like Texas, you can adopt while the mother is still pregnant. Like every state does something different. I know somebody who actually did adopt from Texas because of that. And yeah, they're doing great. But because I am related to the birth mother, the situation is a little bit different. It's a little bit easier. They're not as intrusive. They don't have to come into your home so much. And like when you're adopting, they have to come into your home. They have to check to see if it's safe, this, that, and the other, the waiting
so cool.
period. But like I said, they did not have to do that. We still had to get a lawyer. We still had to get all of our ducks in a row.
Yeah, like documented and everything.
Yeah, I was gonna
And
say, what was the time frame, like from start to finish? You think if you?
So we started with the second that we agreed, because she asked us and we took our time deciding this is very life-changing. And not only that, but we will see this person in the future.
Right. I was
We're gonna see them at family events, like we
Yeah.
love this person, we, all
Wow.
these things, but we just knew that it could change relationships
Yeah.
dramatically.
Oh yeah.
So we waited, we thought about it. We also discussed it with our parents, with my husband's parents, because it makes a big difference as well. And then our stipulations to the agreement was that everybody had to take therapy,
Oh.
including her. She had to take therapy all the way through the pregnancy and at least 1 month after.
Yeah.
And then I was already in therapy, but I requested that my husband at least go to one therapy session, because sometimes you want to say adoption brings a lot of emotions to the table.
Yeah, I bet.
Sometimes you want to say something and you just don't know who to say it to that's a safe space, and I feel like everybody deserves that.
Yeah.
So that was my one stipulation. Other than that, we said yes, we would love to do it.
Yeah, I think
You
that's
have
really
to
good.
go, thank you. You have to go through the whole pregnancy, but you get your lawyer at the beginning. But we also had to find a lawyer who works with the military because of that reason, because they kind of help cover adoptions.
Yeah.
So we had to get one she works with military, she worked with the police department and firefighters, things like that. So she kind of knew a lot of their different little regulations and stuff.
Right.
He was born, like I said, a month early. You're in the hospital, we're in the hospital. The baby technically stays with the birth mother. That's just legally how it is. But we stayed in the hospital. She was comfortable with us staying, so they were nice enough. We had a little shared room.
Oh, that's
We would kind of come and go.
Yeah, I feel like you have awesome experiences, and I just love that for you. I literally love that for you.
We're so scarred. we're waiting for the bad part of the
Where's the
story.
trauma?
Yeah, where's the trauma? We're just so trauma ridden.
Literally exactly.
At the time, it seemed difficult for me because again,
Not downplaying that part, but we're waiting for the floor to fall through.
I know.
So she had 48 hours to change her mind. And so that
That's
whole
nerve-wracking.
time,
That is.
you're trying not to you're trying to cling to him, but also not, because she changes her mind. There was so much behind it that and also I just tend to be a supportive person naturally. So I wanted to make sure that she was okay,
Yeah.
that he was okay, that everyone in our family was okay. And I emptied my bucket so quick. When we got home from the hospital, ooh,
I bet.
I didn't want to see anybody. I mean, then we moved, so we saw everybody, but
Yeah.
but it was stressful. But we were there, and then when we left the hospital, basically they were we all left together, which was cool with the hospital,
Yeah.
because technically the birth mother still had technical guardianship of him. When we left, we had to get this piece of paper notarized, which we stopped at a little UPS store and had them notarize that she was giving us guardianship, because we weren't legally his parents yet, because again, you're not allowed to sign over a child until 2 days after the birth.
Right.
So we had to all leave together, we had to stop, get this paperwork signed, we had to do all of these things. Yeah, you can't just go home.
That's
You're kidnapping at that point.
Yeah. Seriously.
So we did all that. Then we took him home. Which that was another thing. We had to get paperwork saying it was okay for us to leave the state. Because again, we
Oh,
moved. We
yeah.
moved 2 weeks after, and we're like, we're not
I
kidnapping.
don't know
Yeah.
if that's a good thing or a bad thing, or if that's more stressful or less stressful.
Yeah.
To
I
do
think
it at the beginning, it's like ripping the Band-Aid off, and then
Right.
but then you're related to somebody, so it's not
at
like
this point, I
Yeah.
think at the time I was so wrapped up in my own emotions and also trying to see everyone else's emotions, like
Yeah.
intuitively, that I can't see the greater picture of yes, like we're gonna see her. So like at the end of the day, did it really matter? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I wish I would have just taken a little bit more of a breath and like
Yeah.
it's all gonna work out. It's all gonna work
Yeah.
out. But you don't know.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
2020.
I
yeah,
know.
right.
You don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Especially when you're trying to do everything by the book, so nothing like gets delayed or like they say actually you're not going to now because you stopped at UPS by yourself. You know, like
And
you
the-
don't want to risk it.
And the
Yeah.
hospital was probably the worst. I mean, they're so like, I mean, they see this, they deal with it, but they know more. Like, they're so that sometimes they would say something to me, and I'm like, that's not what my lawyer said. Like, that's not what she said I could do that. And they're like,
Yeah.
no, ma'am, that's not how this works.
And
And so
the competition would be like, well, show me like why.
we
Like,
did have to show them that we were like, actually, it was so, that was the most
Well,
stressful.
your anxiety, every tensions
Yeah.
are high. Like I can't even
Yeah.
imagine.
I
Like,
probably would have been such a bitch. I don't think I could have. I don't think I could have been nice. I'm like,
I would
well,
cry.
I'm like, listen.
It was a lot of both,
yeah,
actually.
I just want my son. Like, okay, leave me alone.
And then I think that that's put me where I didn't want to be, which was in a place, like a headspace where I was like, he's mine, he's mine,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
mine, he's mine, you know, like
Yeah.
I wanted to be a little bit more freeing with it, and another layer, moving here,
Yeah.
all these things. Now I have all of this other stuff, including the
Yeah.
difficulties with him. When we moved here, again, we have guardianship, but he is not legally ours.
Oh, because everything has to still be processed. Because that's only like 2
Oh.
weeks after.
Now we had to go through the system, and they put you, you're like, take a ticket,
Yeah.
wait however many months. It was almost 4 months. So I,
Wow.
Could you get him put into deers and all of that?
so
Like,
we
in that-
had to,
Yeah.
we had to backtrack everything. So putting him into Deers was a nightmare for my husband. I wish
Yeah.
I knew more about that. But he basically said, like, we would go to appointments and they would try to like, because again, like he
Right.
still had to go to all his checkups. They would
Yeah.
try to bill us, and we're like, just hold it,
Where's
buddy.
the insurance? Yeah.
Just hold it. It's
Yeah.
okay. It's coming. And we had to go into the appointment, and I was like, I'm going to tell you right now, my son is adopted. I have every single paperwork that I can legally have at this moment,
Yeah.
that I can have until the adoption goes through. The insurance is coming. If you
I'm
can't work with
surprised.
this, I'm going somewhere. Like,
Yeah.
I just
He's
had
a
to.
newborn. Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't- You have to be seen. Like you
I
have to
know.
go to appointments.
For his
Yeah.
1 month appointment, the insurance hadn't kicked in yet because we like just did it, and they're like, well, if you want to get seen, it's gonna be like blah blah blah. I'm like,
They even backtracked
For 1
everything to the birth.
yeah.
So, when they
good.
come out,
Right.
they're their own person and you're your own person.
Yeah.
So, but I think, unfortunately, I think you only have so many days. Like, they can
Yeah.
only backtrack so many days. We were in the window by like 30 days.
That's
So
good.
they backtracked.
I'm just
a lot.
surprised they saw you without the insurance because like they were like it's 1 month like you
I
have
do-
to have it before. I'm like, damn.
His pediatrician's really nice,
That's
and
really
they're great. I will say, I really like it. I like him a lot. I mean, it's a small little office, but
Yeah.
I think they were pretty understanding. Also, another perk about being here is everybody's military. They all know.
That's
They
true,
know
yeah.
how it works. Even though we're out in town, we weren't on base.
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah, like your TRICARE's going in, right? Like
Yeah.
I know they tried to charge for Nash's stay in the NICU, and it was like
Oh,
2 days, and
gosh.
they tried to bill me for that, and they were like, "Hey, you have this outstanding bill," and I'm like, "I'm not paying 18 grand."
Yeah,
Like,
no.
I don't know.
Crap.
I don't know what you think is gonna happen. So I just called TRICARE, and they're like, "Oh, don't worry. Like we'll work with them. We'll make sure like we send them something to update them. But
Yeah.
we're waiting on this documentation." And I
Yeah.
think he was like 9 months before they paid it
Holy
out.
crap.
So
I
it
mean-
didn't. It said past due, but it wasn't like
Yes.
sent to collections or
That's
anything
exactly.
like that. So I think if you,
Can it still
some
stress you
people, I
out
think if
though?
you-
But it's just
Yeah,
like the
it's like-
military. It's
Yo,
slow.
it's
Everything's slow.
I don't
I
trust you like that.
Yeah,
I know.
I think in the real world, people are like, well, 18 grand's not that much. But in the military world, like,
We don't pay our medical bills
yeah,
here.
like $6
It's like,
is
what do
too
you
much.
mean?
Okay, like I
Yeah.
gotta co-pay for this, but I'll just pick it up on it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll just drive you.
Yeah, we're used to, as you say, free 99.
Yeah.
Everything's
But that was also why when we moved here, I'm like, I don't want to put him in daycare. Which, by the way, daycare on
the
base
CDC.
was 1 year waiting. 1 year. And I was like, okay. We
It's
don't,
wild.
you don't know what you know until you know it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did what we thought we had to do, filling out the paperwork. And I was really uncomfortable putting him in daycare until the paperwork went through anyways, because I was scared that somebody was going to try and take him away from me. Like, I had so many, like,
Yeah.
people are going to think that he's mine and they're going to take him away. There's
Yeah.
just a lot of silly little fears, like your internal thoughts, you know, when you're lying in bed and you're like, if I take him and they don't approve, you
I don't
know.
think it's silly.
But that's what happens when you become a mom. All these things
Oh, yeah.
that people are like, why is your brain? And it's like,
Intrusive
because
thoughts.
everybody's a threat.
Yes.
Everything is a threat until you prove that
Yeah.
you're not a threat, and then we might be good.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Like,
right.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all. Like that.
So that was why I decided, okay, I'm gonna give my career a break. I also was only licensed in the state of Florida. So I'm like, let me give it a break. Let me get my license switched over. Well, not switched over, but do a multi-state so I can work here. Then all that went through. It was 6 months later, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna look for a job. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look for a job. 12-hour shifts doesn't work when your husband is gone every other day or in the
Right.
field or
Yeah.
whatever. The hours don't work with daycare, even if I was okay with putting
Yeah.
him, because I was gonna put him in daycare like out in town. And yeah, it just was like so unrealistic. And then that's another thing. I would talk to some of my girlfriends at home and they'd be like, well, other people make it work. I'm like, other people live around their families. Other
Yeah.
people have
Yeah.
this. Other people. I'm
Like
like,
grandma's coming over to stay at the house, and grandma's
Right.
gonna take care
Yeah.
of the grandkid.
Or
It's
can pick
totally
him up
different.
for an
Yeah.
hour after work until I get home. Like,
Right.
who is going to pick him up? Who do I
Yeah.
trust here that's gonna go and pick him up?
Right. And you're like, I don't even know anybody here.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you're brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
We went through
what?
the same thing. Like.
So I'm like,
push
I'm
it
just gonna stay at home.
Yeah.
But then you go through now you're on one income.
Yep.
You live a certain way.
Yeah.
How do you do that? You are so chatty for somebody who never wants to talk.
He said, tell him, Mom.
Yeah. So you're like, how do you go to one income and you're like, what's up with that? You know? That's why I'm back in school. I'm doing school online. I'm switching to something that I can do remote. So that way, wherever we go, because I said, I think I told you guys, I want to move overseas at some point. I want to travel. If I'm going to be far away, I might as well be far away.
Right, right.
If I'm already going to experience it, let's experience it. And let's
Yeah.
give him some culture. Let's give ourselves some culture, you know?
Yeah. North Carolina just really ain't that it.
I just don't think so. It's got,
Raised trucks and.
I was gonna go with churches. I mean, it's very,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
you know,
There are a ton of churches, and I
Yes.
feel like
you can.
but
Yeah.
there's a lot.
Yeah.
to
There
choose
are.
from.
Yeah. That's
So, that's a whole nother thing in itself. I wish you would just make up your mind here. Do you want to know another silly thing my husband did? So silly. Do you want to know?
true. He's gonna see this and be like,
She thinks I'm super funny.
He said that the clips that hold this child in were very annoying. So he
cut
just
them out.
cut them out. So we live like this.
oh my gosh. Dude, some of the best poop breaks are when she's strapped to the high chair and I'm like, you're on your own.
Be right back.
Yeah,
She's
no.
like,
None of that happens.
That's crazy.
None of that happens. And honestly,
that's such a guy thing. Like, why do we even need these
Yeah,
safety straps?
then I said, that's what keeps him in. And he was like, oh, I could figure out and put it back on. I saw those things. They're not gonna. At this point, I'm like, do we just get another high chair?
Yeah, so you said that you guys are in the same family, like you knew her. So
Yes.
yeah, when did you find out, and then is it weird that you know her?
So we knew that she was pregnant pretty early on because she had come to me and was just kind of like, I don't know what to do. And so we kind of gave her all of our options. This is what you can do. And I never once thought like, oh, let me have your baby. You know,
Yeah.
like that never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
But she came to us, I think, a month and a half after that and asked us if we would adopt him. So she was about 3 months pregnant, 3 to 4
Okay.
months pregnant. So we had plenty of time.
Yeah.
But I will say, when you're not the one pregnant, you do forget that a baby is coming.
Oh.
You do. I mean, you're just like, I feel like I know how a dad would feel. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah, that's that
You know.
perspective,
Yeah.
because it's not like you're
Yeah.
Right.
You don't have the
You don't
daily
have the
reminders.
symptoms.
Exactly. And so like I did take her to some of her appointments, and she was really open and wanted me to be there for a lot of it. She wanted me to be there for anything that I could. I also still worked, and we were still trying to
I think that's
navigate
really cool,
all that.
because you don't always get that. You know?
Yeah, it was really nice. We got to go for like the heartbeat and his
Aw.
pictures and all that stuff, and it was really nice. And actually, I took her to her 36-week appointment, and they were like, everything looks good. See you in like a week or whatever.
Yeah.
And she stayed the night at my house that night because where she was living was far, and her new OB was closer to me. So I'm like, yeah, you can stay here if you want, whatever. Like, I was fine. She could have stayed as long as she wanted. I don't care.
Yeah.
She went into labor at your house.
Yeah, so
Wow.
that night,
You got-
yeah.
I'm telling you, like every time you say something, I'm like, what? Like you have like
Yeah.
the perfect scenario where everything.
Yeah. So
Wow.
she comes into my, it's like midnight. Now, granted, my husband and I had gone to dinner. I had like 2 martinis. I come home, I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, how you feeling?
Yeah.
She was like, I'm good. I'm just gonna have a snack and go to bed. I'm like, okay. I go to bed. I don't feel too good. And I'm like, she had already been in the hospital twice prior. One, she had Braxton Hicks, and the other one, she drank almost like too much water. Like, she lowered her electrolytes like almost too quickly, and it made her cramp and really uncomfortable. So she went to the hospital for that. And so I said, was it like any of those times? And she's like, I don't know. I'm not sure. And I was like, what are we sure about? What do we know?
Yeah.
She's like, honestly, I'm just so tired. I really want to lay down. I'm like, okay. So she ends up like crawling into the bed with me, and we both fall asleep. Lights on, like Times Square. All the lights are on in the house. It's like 1 a.m. Okay. And we're all just passed out. I wake up an hour later. It's like 2:30. And I'm like, oh my God, you let me like just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Are you okay? Like, what's going
Yeah.
on? And she's like, I just really don't feel too good. I'm like, okay, I think we just need to get up and go. I wake up my husband, I'm like, I think we just need to go. We don't think anything of it.
Yeah, because you're like, oh,
Nothing.
we still have 3 more weeks.
Yeah, we're just thinking like something's going on, like she's uncomfortable, I'm not sure,
You're
but
getting
she's
towards
not,
the end, and
she's
you
not
think-
giving me like labor
Yeah.
symptoms at all. She's just like, I don't know, I have some discomfort. I'm like, okay. We take her to the
Do you
hospital.
feel like you need to take a giant dump?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, so we take her to the hospital. It's now 3:00 in the morning. Okay. And we're getting her, and she's like, ooh, yeah, this is really uncomfortable. Ooh, I'm really starting to get some discomfort. I'm really starting to get some discomfort. And I'm like, oh God. They get her in the room, and she asked me to stay while they examine her. So my husband goes out there, and I'm like, I'm unwell. I'm knitting sweaters in my mouth. There's so much going on. My brain cannot function as to what's going on.
Yeah.
And the lady examines her, looks at me, eye contact,
Oh, God.
and mouths,
What the hell?
I said,
Oh my God, good for her.
I love that.
They-
Yeah.
I never have I ever seen so many nurses, and not an
Yeah,
emergency,
you're
but in an emergency,
Right.
Like,
run in, snag her. She's now like panicked, like
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
nervous. She's kind of a nervous Nelly. So she was like, "What's?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "It's okay. It's
Oh,
okay.
no one told her yet?
You're just very dilated,
And that's the quickest part.
Yeah, I'm like they've got to get you in a room. They've got to hook you up. They've got to do all this stuff." So she was like, "Okay." I'm like, "Now is the time to tell them if you want an epidural or not. Now
Yeah,
is
right
the
now.
time
Yeah,
because you have 30 minutes."
Yeah.
The lady rushed in so quick with a needle. She was like, "Yes or no." Like literally, she's like,
She's in the
there
next room too.
was so many women on the list, and she got bumped number one because she was so far along already.
so nice.
So she did get an epidural, and I will tell you, at your 36-week appointment, they're supposed to test you to see if you have a bacteria or
Your
something.
GBS,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, so she never got her results.
Oh,
So they were like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and hook you up to the antibiotic, just for safety. The antibiotic takes 4 hours in drip. Okay, 4 hours.
Oh my God.
Well, at that point, the baby is in.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't
basically,
matter.
here's the doctor standing here. She's on the table, and they're like, we cannot tell you to push because we want that antibiotic to go through. But we can see the head. So I'm like, she's looking at me like, what am I supposed to do? And I'm like,
my God.
they're like asking her to keep this baby in.
Let me just suck it in.
Just keep holding
She-
it. She keeps looking at me. She's like, my body's telling me I have to push. My body's telling me I have to push.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can do whatever you want to do. Don't listen to them. You do whatever you want to do. She's like, well, what is the time that the antibiotic will be finished? And they said exactly 8 o'clock on the dot because they literally put it in at exactly 4 o'clock on the dot. They're like, exactly 8 o'clock on the dot. He was born at 8:01.
Oh my
Oh, wow.
gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was so. Both my husband and I and her, we're all like looking at each other. The doctor's like,
So you're
getting ready to like catch, you know. Like,
So both of you were in the room.
we
when he was
were.
born. Like that's just such
so
an
cool,
awesome
yeah.
experience.
We were.
Like,
We were the ones that. I mean, we called everybody. I said, "Do you want me to call all these family members, that
Yeah.
are on the list?" And she was like, "Well, let's just see." That when we first got to the hospital.
well, you can
And I
think
was like,
what,
let's
yeah, you can
And then I said, "Well, we don't have time. So do you want me to call them, or
Yeah,
do you
it's
not
now
want
or
me to
never.
call them?" And she was like, "No, I think it's okay." I'm like, "Okay."
That's really
So
special though.
we
yeah.
we kind of waited until she was like really close, and I said, "Okay, it's time. I think it's appropriate for us." Okay, you call, fine. So I called everyone and let them know,
Yeah.
and they didn't even have enough time. I mean, some people
Oh,
lived
yeah.
like an hour away. They would have never made it anyways.
No.
So they just took their time at that point. Like they just got up, showered, got ready for
Which
their.
it's nice to give the mom a break anyway, and not bombard,
Yeah.
I was
mean,
about to say I wouldn't want anybody to have them on. I don't know how people do it. Like
it's not really pleasant.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
you move from that room to another room,
Yeah.
and the nurses are different, and it was a different tone. I mean, it was
Yeah.
a totally different tone, and they're trying to figure out how to manipulate our situation.
Yeah.
They're trying to be respectful to our situation, but at the same time, like the baby has to stay with the birth mom,
Right.
right? So like they're trying to figure out where to put us, if they can put us in
Yeah.
the same room, but
Or
they
privacy, or yeah.
because if there's no rooms, like they don't have to house us.
Right. Yeah.
Like if there's more mothers that are delivering or had their babies, like they can be like, hey, we don't have room for you. Like you're not a medical necessity, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't need to necessarily
Yeah.
be here. So, but luckily they had room. Now, if the nurse said if we would have been there like 2 days prior, probably not.
Yeah.
But and he had to stay the
Work
full
out.
time because he was early.
yeah.
So we had to stay the whole time
Yeah.
till the minute, and
You get
then.
the full experience.
Oh my god, yeah. Let me tell you, the meals there,
Oh heck. no.
delicious.
I was door dashing. I did not care. I'm like, I don't
Yeah,
care if it's
we
like
went-
so cold by the time it gets here. Like, I'm not eating that.
Oh yeah, we went out. And
Yeah.
we bring us all back food, but it was. We had a couple visitors, and then like I said, we had to leave. We had to go get the documentation, all that done, and everything. But I think for future, at the time, it was really nerve wracking because you're like, I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna see this person again, XYZ, which we had already, like I said, I made her take therapy. There was a lot of things that I had discussed with my therapist. I was like, let me bring this to everyone's attention. So my husband actually sat down with both of our families and her as well, and we're like, these are the stipulations. We want to make these really clear now. And it kind of came down to it. If I have to pick between him or somebody else, it's going to be him.
Yeah.
If I have to pick between him or you, it's going to be him. So understand that when you offer us this, that you're also risking our relationship by your actions. So
Yeah.
understand that.
Yeah.
That's a big thing, right? Like, and she's young, so like,
Yeah.
you know, trying to explain that and really get a full grasp. And also, like, I don't think she knew the emotional toll that it would be on her either. I
Right.
still
Yeah,
think she's still kind of navigating that. She doesn't really talk to me about that too much.
Yeah.
I think she tries to be sensitive to me, and I think I try to be sensitive to her. And sometimes it's a good thing, and sometimes I think it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I think what really helped was because we moved here right away,
Yeah.
we weren't
In her
in her face.
Yeah.
We weren't in her face. And I
Yeah.
tried hard with the whole social media thing to where, you know, it wasn't like all the time. It's hard because I'm sitting in a place where I'm so excited.
Yeah.
But I also understand that there's someone out there like suffering at the moment,
Yeah.
you know? So, I mean, of course, I take all my pictures and I might not post something every single day, which is fine. The world doesn't need to see every single detail, right?
I think it's nice you're still considering her.
Yeah.
You don't really owe anybody anything, you know?
Right.
So I think that's totally nice.
And so we were here. I think that gave us space. We did go back. We went back in October and then we went back again in January for his birthday. October was a lot shorter of a trip. We saw her, but it was very brief. You could tell she was still uncomfortable. There were still some things I think that she might have had a hard time like letting go. But I think January when we went back for his birthday, she was a lot better. And I think it just took that first initial time.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was much better. Plus, I will say, like, our family, both mine and my husband's, were very supportive and on board and understood the rules and stipulations that we gave everybody and,
Yeah.
like, really well to abide by those. So, and they're also close with her and, like, kind of cover her. So, like, nobody really feels like they're excluded to a degree or...
That's good.
I don't know how to word
I feel like
that
this would
right.
have torn so many families apart
Oh,
though.
It
so
was.
I feel like you guys are already ahead of it. you
I will
know?
say I took a lot of therapy and prior to this situation, just because I've already had some crazy family dynamics, that
Yeah.
a lot of that really did help. Which therapy, everybody needs it. Go to it.
I say that how many times in our episode?
Everybody
All
needs
the
it.
time. Yeah.
Go to therapy. But I think that helped a lot because
Right.
what maturity or emotional discomfort or emotional, I shouldn't say issues that she had, that's the only word that's coming to mind.
Yeah.
I was able to kind of help balance that.
Yeah.
And then if I needed to break down, you know, it would be in a safe, you know, like I
Yeah.
had other people, she had other people. So we had to go to other people and still come together a lot in the process.
Yeah.
And that kind of helped. And then after, like I said, I was super territorial of him, so I was really nervous the first time, but I think now it's okay. I do get worried that one day in the future, she's gonna say something out of place. And
Like, what do you mean by that?
obviously, he's gonna know he's adopted.
Mm-hmm.
It's only gonna be more telling with time, as you can see, but I think that that's my place to talk to him about. I've always
Yeah.
wanted it to be open. I feel like I know a lot of people who were adopted as a child, and the ones who knew were so much better off than the ones who didn't know.
Yeah.
And I feel like I definitely want to tell him, you know, hey, you know, you are adopted, but one, that's my decision, that's my time,
Yeah.
that's when I see it appropriate based off of
When and how.
him. And if that means he's coming to me asking questions, if that means he's at a mature level where I can kind of discuss those things, and that is what I deem appropriate. So one of the things was nobody is allowed to really bring that up in front of him once he gets to an age of understanding.
Right.
Like,
I think it's a good
I just don't
Yeah,
want
yeah.
him to feel like somebody just, first of all, she did not just throw him to
Yeah.
waste, right? Like, she made a really good choice
Yeah.
for herself and for him. That's, a lot of people cannot say the same.
Yeah.
So I think that I never want him to feel like he was just I'm just adopted. I never want
Yeah.
that feeling. But at the same time, like, I want to answer his questions to the best of my
Yeah.
ability, but I want us to be the ones to do that.
Yeah.
And I never want it to come, and I'm not sure exactly if we're going to tell him how or when or if that she's the mom or not.
Yeah. I feel like that would definitely make things complicated because you guys might
yeah.
be cool with it, but then he's like, well, I've always called you my aunt or whatever.
Yeah,
Now
and
you're
now
my
I'm like-
mom.
Yeah, like,
But
now I'm kind of
no.
confused.
Yeah.
Do I think that maybe he would know? Yeah. And do I think that I would be honest, especially if he asked yes. But I never would want her to just like,
Yeah, I'd be.
you know,
Yeah.
that's like, I think that's where I get a little sensitive, but I'm like, that is something that I really worried about at the beginning, and now I really don't worry so much about, because I'm like, these are big future problems. Like, these are tomorrow's, next year's, 10 years from now problems, and we'll just navigate that when we get there.
Yeah, it's good to at least kind of think and at least think what you would want to do, so that way if you need to communicate expectations, you can ahead of time.
I think boundaries are really good. Like, knowing where my boundaries are
Yeah.
is a big one. And I think I actually learned a lot more about boundaries this year, and I think that also has a lot to do with just motherhood in general, you know,
Yeah,
like
for sure.
you figure out, like, there are family members of mine that I was always kind of like,
Yeah.
and now I'm like, no, it's a hard no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, your values and my values are not the same.
Yeah.
I do not respect you.
Right.
Like, why would I want my kid to be around you?
Yeah, exactly.
And then they just want like bragging rights to like be around your kid.
Yeah, or
Like, this is, and like, don't ever be like, this isn't my adopted, da da da. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
there are a few people, not many. Our families are really close and a lot of our members are great, but there are a few that I'm like, no.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like slowly
Yeah.
creep on back.
I think that's your job, and I think that's what makes like moms responsible. And a lot of people don't understand that, because then they'll paint you as a bad guy of why you do that, blah blah blah. But it's like, at the end of the day, I'm just doing what I think's best for my kid, you know. And like, you have to respect that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm your grandma. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm your grandma. I'm like,
Yeah.
you have a title. That doesn't mean you have
Nothing.
anything. you
That
know?
literally means nothing.
Yeah.
And to me, I've always felt that way. I'm like, you
Yeah.
really get to pick your family.
Right.
I naturally, again, like, I feel like I naturally kind of give people more chances than they really need. I tend to, in a way, I'm a people pleaser, but knowing my boundaries more and more and more, I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, you can't please everybody. Sorry. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. So that was
Yeah.
probably the biggest mental difficulties, was navigating that and knowing who the birth mother is, and still knowing that they're going to be around. A lot of people don't want that, and I totally understand why. I totally respect that. Like I said, I know a girlfriend, she adopted somebody, the son that she has no relation to the mother. She even did it out of state, but she was kind to the mother, and at the first year, she's just a kind person, and like try to like keep her in the loop, just because she would like reach out and stuff. And it got to the point where it was bad. Like, it was bad. And I'm like, this is why you can't, you know, like, this is why you can't. I feel like you said, it would destroy a lot of families, but I also think it depends on the situation, the person, their family dynamic, as well as their mental, like,
Right.
you know,
Are we
like,
mature enough to do this together?
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Well, and feelings, like when you're making decisions like that, your feelings like sometimes can be like
Oh yeah.
completely irrational. Like somebody,
Yeah.
and like you don't know what it's going to be like until you have this
Right.
thing, right? And so you, like you said, you have anxiety in that first 48 hours because
Yeah.
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 I've been planning
Yeah.
for this. I'm super excited for this. This is what I
Yeah.
want. This is what I'm meant for. And then like, could it be? What if she
Completely
changed her mind?
Right.
Like, what
Yeah.
if, you know? And it's
And I don't
like-
think anybody in my family knew, because I'm pretty private when it came to this stuff.
Oh, no
Plus-
one knew you were gonna adopt him?
No, they didn't know that my husband and I had been like actively trying for like a minute. So whenever she asked us, they were like, they knew we wanted kids, but they didn't know to the extent that we had
Gotcha.
already,
Yeah.
like, I was already in the process of going to seeing like why we were having, you know, issues becoming pregnant and
Yeah.
XYZ. I had already stopped taking my birth control by the time he was born, I was off birth control for at least 2 years, maybe even pushing it. So I knew like the first year you gotta like let your body adjust, reacclimate, you know, your periods you gotta let those.
Yeah.
And then the second year was, we were like, okay, well, let's try harder. Let's go here.
Yeah.
Let's go there. And, you know, you got to pee on the sticks.
Yeah. And that comes
it's
with a lot
not-
of stress.
And yeah, it's not really pleasant, but we were just like, okay, we'll keep it to ourselves more and we'll see and kind of figure it out and let us navigate it first before we try to like,
Yeah.
you know, everybody always wants to have an opinion, especially when they're your family.
Yeah.
My family's very opinionated and
Yeah.
his as
Or
well.
your grandbabies, you know?
Yeah, so I'm like, we kept a lot of that to ourselves. So I don't think they really knew when we agreed to do this, like how much we truly wanted a child.
Yeah.
So the idea of that not happening, like I constantly sat on the, she's gonna change her mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm really glad she didn't, and I'm glad for her sake as well that she didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that was, and so the worst part I think to other women out there is that when they found out, like, you know, I would post him and like I would be honest that, you know, obviously he's adopted. We kind of went through that little process, but so many women would reach out to me and be like, oh, he's adopted? Like, how did you do that? And I wish that I knew more. I would kind of like veer them towards my friend who had actually gone through the whole adoption process, like outside of the state, and like how to do that and how to navigate that. But
Like the process, or like as a woman, how did you do it?
I think both. I actually just, I met a lot of women in the time that were really strong. I didn't realize how many friends or like social media friends or friends that
Yeah.
you knew, high school, college, whatever, see out, your acquaintances, but friendly,
Yeah.
actually truly like struggled with getting pregnant.
Yeah.
And also were like kind of just like, not in the closet, but like hiding the
Yeah.
fact that they also were trying actively and that
Yeah.
they struggled, and it's been 2-3 years now and they don't know what to do, and or
Yeah.
IVF is so expensive. I mean, we are privileged, the military covers a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, they do. But outside of that, like I had a girlfriend, she had to do IVF, she did it twice, and actually she did it 3 times, one time failed, and now she has like $40,000. I mean, in debt, but is it the best debt of her life? Yes, she has amazing children and, you know, she's
Yeah.
happy as ever, but at the same time, like, it's a pretty penny, and that's another thing, like,
Yeah.
it all,
Kids are expensive too, so it's like
Yeah.
you do all of that work and you do
Oh,
all
I-
of that,
Yeah.
and now you have something else that's gonna cost money and you have the bills, but it's the
Yeah.
biggest blessing that
Yeah.
you can have, so.
and then to do it if you want it more than once,
Right.
you know, that's a whole nother thing. So
Goodness.
I'm learning more about why are our rates so low, you know, like why is becoming pregnant such a problem.
Girl, I can
And
go down. with you.
I'm telling you, I've learned so much just in my own journey, but
And it's
it doesn't make it any
about
easier. It doesn't, like, there's a lot of stuff I know. There's a lot of stuff I bet that I would agree with you on. There's probably a lot of stuff that you do that I probably do. And sometimes it's women and sometimes it's men. So
Yeah.
that also changes the dynamic, but
Yeah.
nobody really ever talks about.
Yeah.
Like-
Well, it's hard to talk about it, I think, from a woman's perspective, because like traditional or non-traditional, like and if you want to like have a baby like with your own genetics and stuff, like that's the woman's role. Like the husband can't do it, right? Like,
Yes.
well, I mean, nowadays they've got some types of stuff out there. But
Don't start. Let's not give them that. Don't give them that.
but like, you know, that's like you feel the pressure of that, right? And like even if you have a super understanding husband, it's like it's okay, you know, blah blah blah. Like no, but like you know, like that's like, you know, it's really really hard, but nobody talks about it. So you like build this like shamefulness around it, and then you're like, well, what's wrong with me? And then you're like, I think I'm doing everything right. Like,
The worst is when somebody's like, why don't you have any kids yet?
oh my god,
People
like,
used to ask me that all the time, and I'm like, I have an established career.
What an
I own
intrusive question.
Yeah.
2-3 homes. I have all these things, and the only thing they can ask me
Right.
is, why don't I have any kids yet? Why don't I
Yeah.
have any kids yet?
maybe you don't know my situation. Like that's just a terrible question to ask. in
Yeah.
general.
And I'm like, my eye twitches. So
Yeah.
that's why usually that's not a question. I never ask anybody that question. If they don't
Yeah.
have kids, I'm like, but I also have a really good friend who is a couple. They're much older. I shouldn't say that. They'll probably kill me for that. But they just turned 16 and they never had children. And when I asked her, ignorant Liz, before all this stuff, long time ago, years ago, I said, why don't you have any kids? Her answer was, God never gave me any. And I'm okay with that. Now, older, I know why. I just know them so well. I know also like some of their health stuff.
Yeah.
So like I know why. But also, how hurtful was that? I mean, how many times has she heard that?
Yeah.
How many times has somebody said, why did you never have kids?
Yeah.
And you know what? Like,
Not everybody wants kids either. It might not even be a whole thing,
but
you know?
I'm saying, do I think that she would have wanted kids? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I think she got so numb to answering that question I think it's a great answer and I love it. And she's
Yeah.
a religious person and I love that answer.
Yeah.
And that was enough for me. I said, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But how many people is that not enough for that? You have to
Yeah.
like, you know
Right.
what I mean? Nosy
Yeah.
Nellies.
Yeah, and it, you know it's hard for them at some point. Like, you know, like I feel like people just don't know. Like, oh, like what you mean? Women can't have kids sometimes? You know, like I just feel like there's not enough information
Yeah.
about it. Where it's like, oh, I thought you all had kids, or like, oh, like you know, like, there's just so
Or
much
people who have no
ignorance.
desire to have kids, they're like, oh, you don't want children? Like,
Yeah, what do you mean you're a woman? That's your job. You
Yeah.
know, like a lot of people, we're like woke now, but so many people don't realize how many traditional things they sell in their head of, oh yeah, the woman and like you get married and you have 3 kids and that's it. Like, it's like, well, not everybody wants kids, you know, like we want to focus on our careers and we want to travel, like we don't want anything. And so many people I don't think have like accepted, you know, like everybody's norm can be different. You know?
Exactly.
And so, yeah.
And like I told you guys earlier, we're talking about still trying to have another baby or not, but now I'm like, I don't even know if I want any more kids. Like
Yeah.
one is a lot.
Yeah.
One is a lot. And then
Yeah.
we still like to travel. I mean, luckily he does great on planes, but we still like to travel and we still want to do all these things. And I'm like,
Yeah.
he's going to get to a great age and then we're going to do this all over again.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why we had them so close. 'Cause I was like, I'm not doing that.
I don't
like,
know.
yeah.
You know, like, and then that's also if that's really an option, which might be, but I think that's not even the point. I think the point right now for me is like, if it is 100% an option, would that be something I would want? Because for someone like you said, like they just might not want. I mean,
Yeah.
bringing a child into the world is a whole thing in itself.
Yeah. And I think it's better to be super intentional and thinking things like through and through and through, and then just like, oh, I'll have a kid figured out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't
But
think.
I think
it's
that's the
wrong.
maturity. Like it
Yeah.
takes like that takes a lot to be like, okay, I want children, try to plan it, like try to do things.
Yeah.
You
Is
know,
my
whatever,
life how I
whatever
want
the
it?
right way. It's never the right time to have a kid. It's never
Right.
the right time to move or do any of these
Yeah.
things. You just do it as
Exactly.
it comes.
Yeah.
But
And we also talked about like we own a couple of homes and we maxed out our VA. So in order for us to buy another home, we have to put down the 20%.
yeah,
And I'm we're on one income,
Yeah.
right? Until I like finish my schooling and do like some online stuff. We have one income and now we're talking about like wanting to bring a whole another little human who
Yeah.
costs so much money.
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm like, you might
It's
as
a
well
lot.
kiss that 20% goodbye. Like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
I'm trying to garden so that way I can eat my own fruits and vegetables. I'm like, gotta save a penny.
Yeah. But well, thank you for telling us all about everything.
Yeah, of course.
I feel like I'm so similar to you with so many things. I'm like, oh yeah, period, yep, get that for sure. Retweet. I'm like, I don't know. It's just really refreshing to like have someone who's like goal oriented, but also like, you know, you're in touch with like your feminine like mom side of like I have to look out for my kid. You know, like
Yeah.
I feel like you kind of get one or the other, and I think it's just really nice like to see someone who kind of has like the in between. You know, someone else in between. I'm saying you did. Someone else. I think it's like rare, honestly.
Well, thank
But yeah, we're actually, as Liz started talking about, we're about to do another episode covering some VA information with the home loan and stuff. So if you're interested in that, make sure to watch our next episode about that. But yeah, thanks Liz for coming on.
Yeah, thank you guys for having
so
me.
nice. Yeah, did it feel weird about like anything? Like
Not really.
that's good.
It's just like chatting.
Yeah.
Which I could do all day.
Yeah. No, but that's awesome. But anyway, thanks guys for watching. Make sure to follow our Spotify, or if you're listening here on Spotify, go check out our YouTube and our Instagram. We're a small podcast, but we're trying to grow because we know there's a lot of people out there like us who are moms and in the military community and need some extra friends, you know? So anyway, take care guys, and we'll see you next time.
As a reminder, this podcast is not endorsed by the DoD, and everything talked about here is just our personal experiences and opinions.
We are also not medical professionals.